This is how I went from that to this. Find yourself a peach, open it. As you see, this one is really pale, which means it could be unripe. And you need to find one that looks more healthy or fresh. And here I crack it. You have to be careful or you can damage the seed inside. It looks completely white, that means it's unripe. It should look like this, like an almond. Then you just put it in the fridge for a few weeks. I took the seeds in some moist paper in a closed jar and put it in the fridge. But you could also put it in the dirt in a pot and then put it in the fridge or even outside if you have a cold winter. And here you see it sprouted. Put it in the soil and then lightly cover it with dirt. Give it some water. Keep the soil moist all the time so it doesn't dry out. And after just 1 week, already so big and so cool. They like grow so fast, I think. And after just 2 weeks, it had grown so fast and so big already. So I decided to change the pot and change it to a bigger pot. It gets like twice the size every week. It's amazing how fast this peach tree grows. You can see the pot here, so it's quite a difference. 1 week later, 3 weeks in, it continues to grow super fast. It's almost unbelievable how fast this peach tree grows. But I guess it means it has a shorter lifespan. 2 months. Now it kind of looks just like a small stick that's kind of weak and ready to break at any moment. But it's still growing super fast, which I think is really cool. And the leaves is getting so mature. The trunk was starting to get brown. So I had to investigate what is the reason for this. And I did some digging in the pot and in the soil. And then I saw some small larvae. And I guess those small larvae is to those flies that come from dirt when you have dirt inside. It's not dangerous, it's just annoying, but I was kind of afraid my tree would die in the beginning, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. So I started using this sticky yellow tape so all the flies would go on there and then stop bugging me, and it worked really well. And in case you didn't know, the peach is in the same family as all of these fruits. That's why they also kind of look similar, and the seeds also really look similar, just like the almond seed and the peach seed. After 100 days, it's starting to really get some shape. It's starting to get some tree properties, which I think is amazing, because finally it's actually starting to look like a tree, not just like a tiny little twig. And then I started seeing some spiky looking hairs on the peach by the trunks and by the stems and the leaves. I was like, what is this? I'm guessing it's something to do with flower or pollination or something, or it's just like a appearance to the peach, but I thought it was so cool. And they also grow as hermaphrodites, which means that every tree gets fruits. And some say they can get fruits just 2 years after you put them in the ground with a seed. That's like super fast. And finally, after 5.5 months, this is how it looks. It's gotten so huge. It kind of looks the same as 100 days, but the stem is getting really thick though. Like it's starting to look so like a tree. I noticed a lot of the leaves starting getting brown on the tips. I gave it way too little water. I just gave it almost nothing for a long while. And after I started giving it more water, the new leaves just looked healthy. Yeah, so remember to give it enough water. I started noticing these small droplets on the leaves. I think they look so cool. It gives it a little shine. So the tree doesn't tilt anymore like the seedling tilts towards the sunlight. But I see that the leaves, they kind of turn to the sun. And also they grow thicker and bigger in the sun's direction than on the other side. And that's kind of fascinating. After a while, the peach tree stops growing, and that's a sign for a pot being too small for it. So you should consider giving it a bigger pot or just planting it outside. I planted my peach tree in the ground now, and also a little seedling, so we'll see how they grow and compare them by the end of the summer.